Hey, what's up everyone? John here from testprepinsight.com, and today I'm going to be directly comparing the language apps from Busuu and Babbel. I've purchased, used, and thoroughly tested out each of these language learning programs, and now it's time to tell you which one I think is better. So if you're ready, let's get to it. Okay, welcome back. So I should mention right up front here that since I'll just primarily be discussing the areas in which Busuu is better than Babbel and Babbel is better than Busuu, if you find you need more detail at any point during this video, or if you really want to dive into each company's lesson structure, format, and learning framework, you can always check out our full detailed written comparison over on our website. An easy way to get there is just to Google Test Prep Insight, Busuu vs. Babbel. It's a quick way to find it. Okay, so to kick this comparison off, I'm going to provide a high-level overview of what the lessons from both companies are like. And without getting too nitty-gritty, I'll just say that the core lessons from Busuu and Babbel are pretty similar in terms of both length and format. Basically, the core lessons from both companies are about 5 to 15 minutes in length and are made up of a series of short, interactive drills and exercises that touch on different forms of learning: reading, writing, listening, and speaking. This includes fill in the blanks, digital flashcards, matching pairs, constructing sentences, multiple choice questions, and more. Now, a minute ago, you may have noticed that I said the lessons are pretty similar. And that's because there are three major differences between these two apps as I see it. First is that Busuu incorporates video clips of fluent speakers into their lessons, while Babbel's lessons rely more heavily on images and text. The second is that Babbel offers voice recognition software for immediate feedback on your pronunciation, while Busuu does not. And lastly, Busuu leverages its entire user base to provide feedback on your verbal and written practice exercises. I'll talk about these differences in more detail here in a second. And I know I covered that overview quickly, so if you do want to see some examples of the various Busuu or Babbel drills and exercises that I just talked about, be sure to check out that full written comparison I mentioned. I'll have a link to it down below in the description. I have screenshots and examples over there so you can get a better feel for what to expect. Alright, so now that you know how each program generally works, let's compare pricing. And let's start with Babbel. They offer several different plans, ranging from around $7 per month for their one-year plan up to $14 per month for their pay-as-you-go plan. Or you can always purchase a lifetime plan, which includes access to all of Babbel's languages. There's around 14 of them in total for around $500. So it just depends on how long you want to commit to and pay for in advance. Then Busuu, on the other hand, is a little different in that they actually offer a free plan. But as you might imagine, the free plan is limited in terms of content and features. So as a result, a lot of people out there choose to upgrade to either the Busuu Premium plan or the Busuu Premium Plus plan, which will run you anywhere from $3 to $14 per month, depending on whether you want to sign up for the 1 month, 1 year, or 2 year option. So all in all, it's sort of a toss-up in terms of pricing. Both companies are actually priced pretty affordably in my opinion compared to other apps. But I guess if you wanted to get really technical about it, Busuu is the cheaper option. That said though, I do think it's important to note that both Busuu and Babbel regularly offer deals and special promotions, so make sure to check out the description below for coupon codes. I'll drop any current discounts and deals that I can find down there for you. Babbel is especially aggressive with their discounting, and I've seen their courses discounted by 50% before. Alright, so time for the good stuff. Let's get to the main reasons why I think Busuu is more effective than Babbel, and vice versa. And let's start with Babbel. Advantage number one in their favor is their speech recognition technology. So as you complete verbal practice exercises in each lesson, Babbel's software will immediately evaluate your pronunciation and prompt you to repeat certain words and phrases if you mispronounce them. This is different from Busuu, where there's no speech recognition technology. Instead, as I touched on a minute ago, you have to rely on other Busuu users for feedback. This generally means that you have to wait at least 30 to 90 minutes to receive feedback from Busuu. It's not immediate like it is with Babbel. And it's worth pointing out that we're talking about humans here. The users providing this feedback with Busuu inevitably make mistakes and are inconsistent, whereas Babbel's tech is much more accurate and consistent. So overall, that's a big takeaway here. With Babbel, you'll receive immediate, consistent feedback on your verbal practice exercises and pronunciation. Then the second advantage for Babbel is their spaced review framework. So every day when you log in to do your Babbel lesson, they'll hit you with a quick 3 to 4 minute review session. They'll test you on vocabulary you already learned weeks ago and make sure that it's sticking. Not to mention, Babbel gives you the option on how you want to review: flashcards, listening, speaking, or writing. It's pretty cool. Busuu does have a review system as well, but it's just not nearly as flexible or effective as Babbel's in my opinion. It's much more limited. For me, I really like Babbel's spaced repetition approach and their emphasis on transferring newly learned words from your short-term memory to your long-term memory. And my last one for Babbel here is all of the bonus features that you get. With Busuu, outside of the main lesson work, there's not much more. They do have a pretty robust community feature where you can interact with other friends and users, but besides this sort of social aspect, there's not a lot to it. In contrast, Babbel provides a bunch of cool tools and extra resources like dedicated audio lessons, podcasts, games, like a fun little maze game that I love, a digital magazine with monthly editions, and vocab reviews. This supplemental work just makes the Babbel program feel a lot more well-rounded and comprehensive overall. And honestly, when you're learning a new language, the more immersion and engagement you can get with the app, the better. So I really like this. Alright, so let's flip the script now and cover the major advantages in favor of Busuu. But before I get to that, I do just want to mention that every single month here at Test Prep Insight, we actually give away a free language learning course to one lucky person. It's super simple to enter. Everyone out there is eligible. I'll put all the details down below in the description, but just know it takes like 10 seconds to enter, and hey, you never know, you could win a lifetime pass to Busuu Premium or Babbel. Okay, Busuu. And advantage number one for them is that their lessons utilize video clips of fluent speakers. Personally, I find video to be very engaging and interesting when I'm doing lesson work, and I think it really augments the learning process when you're able to observe the speaker's body language, facial expressions, hand gestures, and posture. Sometimes it's these non-verbal cues that can really help you pick up the language quickly. So though overall I do find the Babbel lessons to be a little bit more diverse and fun in terms of exercise variety, I do really like that Busuu uses video. And advantage number two is that Busuu has integrated a super helpful feedback system into its language courses. As you complete lessons, some of your verbal and written practice exercises are sent to other Busuu users for feedback. So for example, if you're learning French, you might watch a short video clip of chefs in a French restaurant cooking a dish, then you'll record yourself describing what you just heard and saw, and then typically within 60 minutes or so, 1 or 2 fluent French speakers will respond with feedback regarding your description and pronunciation. It's pretty awesome. This feedback system really helps foster a community-like feel among the millions of Busuu users out there. And the best part is that you can return the favor by providing feedback for French speakers trying to learn English. Overall, it's just a very supportive community that Busuu's created. Alright, so last up here, advantage number 3 for Busuu, and this is somewhat of a small one, but it seems like Busuu emphasizes grammar instruction just a little bit more than Babbel. Now don't get me wrong, Babbel still receives very high marks in this department. In fact, I'd choose Babbel over other popular language learning apps like Rosetta, Duolingo, and Pimsleur all day when it comes to grammar. But Busuu just takes it a step further. Every couple lessons, the topic will focus solely on an important grammar rule or principle like possessive adjectives, demonstrative pronouns, or prepositions. And the nice thing is that the Busuu grammar lessons don't bog you down with lengthy, boring definitions. It's not like reading a textbook. Instead, Busuu delivers grammar content in a very streamlined manner. I'm talking short, digestible explanations, followed by a couple clear-cut examples, and then a few drills and exercises to ensure you comprehend the concept at hand. I'm just a big fan overall. And that about does it for the detail in this comparison, so let's get to the final verdict. Should you choose Babbel or Busuu? Well, this is a tough call. Busuu and Babbel are very similar language learning programs from a structural and interface perspective, and they're in the same general ballpark in terms of cost. But for me, after using both programs extensively and jumping back and forth between these apps, I would go with Babbel. While I like Busuu's community feedback system and their use of short video clips, honestly, one of the biggest drawbacks for me is that I hate having to wait an hour or more for others to respond to my work, and half the time the feedback you get isn't even that helpful. By contrast, everything with Babbel is instantaneous and accurate, and their language app overall just has a much more comprehensive and well-rounded feel, which I personally found to be more effective. And that's all I've got for you. I hope this video was helpful and you learned a little something about both of these language apps. If so, make sure to return the favor by subscribing to our channel, liking this video, and dropping us a quick comment below. That would be really appreciated. And again, if you want to see that full, detailed written comparison that I mentioned earlier in this video, just hop on over to our website, testprepinsight.com, or check out the rest of the videos on our YouTube channel. We got a bunch of great content out there. But as always, thanks for watching, best of luck, and I'll catch you in the next one.